All right, guys, we got a video from Just Pearly titled "The Lies of Feminism Has Destroyed Women." Shout out to Pearly, shout out to her podcast and her panel. Before I start the video, don't forget, while you're watching, like, comment, share, and subscribe. Now let's roll the clip.
It's, I think more and more women have been told that in order for them to get credit, they have to be super career driven. They have to make loads of money. They have to focus on achievement. And so when women pursue that, they tend to be in their masculine energy a lot. And being a stay-at-home wife or raising a family, it's not seen as valuable.
But I would argue and say, and to some point I agree with you, but I argue and say, like, if women...
And I think that's pretty weird because, you know, we at least in the West, I feel like we champion and raise up and praise single mothers, but at the same time, being a stay-at-home wife when you have a husband is frowned upon. It doesn't really make sense to me. Comment down in the chat if you kind of see what the correlation of what I'm talking about.
In our single parents and had to raise their children by themselves, they're looked upon as masculine as well. But they're being at home, raising the family, and to some fault of their own or not of their own, like the father of their children is not there, but they still have to raise the children. But they are willing to be that housewife, etc. But they're looked upon as being masculine because they're saying, well, you're a single parent and you're a single parent for a reason. So I feel sometimes as a female, regardless what role we play, it's sometimes hard to kind of say, all right, which way do we go? Do we go down the feminine route, or do we have to go down sometimes the masculine route?
I think you can be both, though.
Yeah, I mean, if you just think about it like this, if you go back in history, back in the past, women didn't have the right to vote. Women didn't used to work. You know, they stayed at home. They took care of things at home. Nowadays, women are basically out here competing with men and competing with each other in the work, you know, in the job market, in school, everywhere. It's just one big competition. So women are lumped in with men. Now you have to show a little bit of that alpha, that masculinity, because you're competing with males.
Like femininity and masculinity, it's all contextual and it's not black and white. So for me personally, in business, I show up as pretty masculine, like, you know, the very typical boss, business babe, whatever. And then in my relationship, I'm the opposite. And that's because I had to unlearn a lot of the social programming that told me that my worth came from career success.
But some men might argue that it'll be difficult for her to be able to shut down that masculine energy when she's in her relationship. It'll probably just come out sometimes. But, you know, if she has done the work and self-improved to be able to, you know, really shut that off and just be in her feminine when she's in a relationship, that's great.
And I had to relearn, like, what men really want in a relationship, which is they want a woman to make them feel appreciated, supported. They want a woman to, like, bring out his masculine even more and play the feminine role.
They really look down on being the mother now. If you just wanted to go home and you work maybe part-time if you can't afford to do it, and then everyone just looks down on you on that. That's a bad thing to do. You've done that for a man, I find.
Yeah. Because my friend Allie, I was telling you guys before the show, she went viral for just saying, yeah, my husband's my boss. I work for him. Yeah. He makes the decisions. Yeah. I was the one behind the camera. Yeah. That was my account.
That's crazy.
And all the comments were basically saying, how could you trust him? Like, well, he could just leave you high and dry. But it's like everything you do has risk. Like,
he could just leave you high and dry. Okay, he leaves you. Now you get some of his stuff. You go on about your way. But if you single out here, what happens if you lose your job? You got nobody to fall back on except for your family.
There's risk in being a single parent. There's like, you can get married, you could get divorced. Like, life is risk.
I think what we're talking about here with what you said, Lavina, what you said, Hannah, is about emotional intelligence. So it's being able to switch on and switch off and apply yourself effectively in different situations and scenarios, whether it's masculine energy or feminine. Yeah. And just understanding the two and then when to play which role accordingly.
Yeah. And sometimes I feel men struggle with that as well. Like, you're absolutely right. Men do want to feel like they are the man and they want to feel wanted and they want to feel like their purpose in a relationship. But sometimes there are some men, if they've never been shown that as a young person or a child, they won't know how to do that as an adult.
Okay, I could give her a point on that. I guess for men it's a little bit different because men, I guess the way that looks like for men in reverse is men being too emotional, like she said, not having that masculine influence in her life or that masculine role model. So I can give her a point to what she's saying, but let me know what you think in the chat.
And sometimes as a woman, we can be patient and like, I can show you that. But if they're not willing to receive that love from, it's very hard.
Relationships is just a thing that not a lot of people taught. And because people don't do the self-development work on themselves, they expect somebody else outside of them to validate who they are and what they do. Whereas they don't have that internal self-belief, that internal validation, which is important.
Yeah.
In saying that as well, I feel like based on this solely off personal experience, right? As a young man, I used to wear glasses, innit? So throughout my whole secondary school year, I had glasses on. So I didn't really have the confidence to be like, to approach women in that sort of way and format. And then the
Girls like glasses though. Make you look smart.
moment I turned 19, got laser eye surgery, lost my glasses, hit the gym, you know what I mean? Did all these things I never used to do.
I'm telling you, you dress up, nice button-up shirt with some dress pants on, blazer if you got it, with some glasses. Hey, you look important.
And realized I was like, yo, I'm kind of a spice right now. You know? I'm kind of good. Do you know what I'm saying? And then I went to uni, and then I lost my virginity when I was at uni, and then that just opened up a whole new doors of experience that I didn't experience before. So when it comes to the younger men coming up nowadays, I feel like they have no guidance. Do you know what I mean? They have no one to say.
Well, how are they supposed to be taught about women if like I want to say aren't half of people raised by single mothers or like a third? It's really high.
That I was gonna get.
Yeah, in a society that caters to women so heavily, you know, you probably, depending on who your mother is and who your father is, you raised up thinking that women are just these angels. You got to protect them, be nice to them, treat them like little delicate flowers. And within a relationship, I would say, do those things to an extent. But you don't treat every girl that you see like that. You don't treat any girl like that until she proves that she deserves to be treated like that. Because, you know, girls are just as savage as dudes are.
To that point, as in I am raised by a single mother. When it came to asking my dad about for stuff like, hey, dad, you know what I mean? How does it do to, you know, do certain sexual activities with a woman? Do you know what I mean? He wasn't around. Straight up. I'll say it, Alex. There's no problem. I said it on my channel. I'm saying it on Pearl's channel.
I was thinking, sorry.
No, go on.
Women have been encouraged to go off and be independent on their own. And if their meaning was to, you know, find a husband, have children, look after children, and then men were to get a job, find a wife, and then provide for them, and the women have gone off, the men have nothing now to look. There's no wives around, so they're just completely lost.
What percent of women would you say want to be wives, and what percent of women would you say are wives? I want to hear from the men.
What percentage want to be wives and what percentage are wives? I think deep down inside, every girl wants to be some guy's wife. But what percentage want to be wives? I'm going to say 60%. And what percent? 70%. 75. And what percent are wives? I would say about 10.
In your experience with dating.
John, run it up. John, you started off. You carry on.
Change that 10 to like a 7.
The conversation, that's you right there. I'm choosing to go last. I'm choosing to go last.
I bet a lot lie to themselves. So I bet it's higher than they think. So I'm going to say about 80% want to be wives. Yeah. Only 30.
You say 30% are wives.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I think I would agree a lot with that. I think a lot of women want to be wives, but they don't have the substance or the skills to actually support the lifestyle of...
Yeah, in the same way men without proper male guidance don't know how to be men. Women without proper feminine guidance don't know how to be women. It's like, you can't blame them, but it's just, it is what it is.
The person that they would ideally like to be with. So then they end up with somebody that is not fully compatible with, and they go, oh, my relationship's all right, it will last. And, you know, we have our ups and downs, and they have those sorts of tumultuous relationships that don't really work out long term. But most women don't have the skill sets to be wives to the men that they aspire to be with.
I think a lot of women, and I guess you could say men too. I guess you could just say relationships. People don't have it in them to stick it out anymore. You know, it's gonna be ups and downs. You got to be there through the downs and manage to stick it out and say, all right, you know, we can get through this. But in today's day and age, where you have so many options, Instagram on your phone, dating apps on your phone, you think that you could replace someone just like that. But that's not reality. That's Instagram.
And what skills would you say those are?
Patience, communication. I think communication is one of the most powerful ones, because a lot of women have, in my experience at least, have a lot of self-doubt, and they don't know how to be supportive to somebody else. They don't know how to communicate powerfully with somebody else in a way that helps their relationship to grow, helps their relationship to flourish, and helps their relationship to be really effective.
Do you think women have self-doubt? Because I find them to be more narcissistic than ever.
Yeah, is it a fake narcissistic though? Because it's like an external narcissism, but an internal, I don't feel good about this, I don't feel I'm worth it.
No.
I feel like
I'll just like, even at Carnival, I was asking like, rate yourself 1 to 10, and they would say 10. I'm like, oh God, again. Okay. And then I'd say, well, aren't you perfect? Doesn't that mean you're perfect? She's like, well, I'm not perfect, but I am. And then they'd say special, but isn't it kind of narcissistic to think you're special?
Yeah.
Like
Everyone thinks they're special. Like, it's been proven in psychology that everyone.
As many of you know, I was just banned on TikTok, and we are demonetized on a daily basis on this platform. If you want to help, please consider sending a super thanks below. Every donation helps, and it helps make.
I might donate a little something, man, because she helps me make my content. That was a great discussion. I feel like everybody in the panel was pretty, you know, rational, common sense thinkers. But yeah, that's it for the video. Shout out to Pearly. Shout out to the panel. Don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe on the way out. Till next time, peace.